In the year 310, on the 29th day of the month, Lu Yuan, the founding emperor of the Han state and the proud son of heaven of the Xiongnu tribe, passed away at the age of 58. Before his death, Lu Yuan had already made proper arrangements for the affairs of the state. The year earlier, the eldest son, Lu He-310, was established as the crown prince. After Lu Yuan's death, Lu He officially ascended the throne. The fourth son, Lu Tsong, served as the Grand Marshal, Minister of National Defense, and Grand Chanyu, the highest-ranking official responsible for managing and ruling over other ethnic minorities, second only to the emperor. Lu Yuan's other sons were also appointed to important positions and held military power. Lu Yuan and his sons were highly Sinicized Xiongnu elites who had been educated in Confucian culture from a young age. Lu Yuan hoped that his sons would remain united and uphold his legacy, strengthening the Han state, the first minority-led regime in the history of the Central Plains region. However, Lu Yuan could never have imagined that just 3 days after his death, internal turmoil would erupt. The crisis was sparked by 3 Xiongnu nobles, generals of the Imperial Guard, who resented being excluded from Lu Yuan's final decisions. They persuaded Lu He, saying, "The late emperor failed to consider the balance of power and entrusted command of the elite imperial guards to the 3 princes, while Grand Marshal Lu Tsong controls an army of 100,000 troops stationed in the nearby suburbs. Your Majesty is essentially in a precarious position, like a mere guest on the throne. Such a threat is unpredictable, you must act swiftly." Lu He, being the nephew of one of the 3 Xiongnu generals, Hu Yanyu, fully trusted their words. As a result, he summoned Lu Xing, the commander of the Imperial Guards, to join their conspiracy. When Lu Xing was young, he did not enjoy reading extensively, but he was well versed in the Confucian classics Shaojing, the classic of filial piety, and Luanyu, the Analects. He often boasted, "Understanding these 2 books is enough. Reading too much is meaningless if it cannot be applied in practice." He was a man who upheld loyalty, filial piety, benevolence, and righteousness, embodying these virtues in his actions. Because of this, he earned Lu Yuan's deep trust and was granted the title of Prince of Anchang, serving as a key minister in the government. Lu Xing advised Lu He, saying, "The late emperor's coffin has not yet been buried, and the 4 princes have not shown any signs of betrayal. If you start internal strife now, what will the world think of your Majesty? Moreover, the great cause has not yet been fully accomplished. Your Majesty must not listen to the slanderous words of petty men and doubt your own brothers. If even your own brothers cannot be trusted, then who else can truly be trusted?" Lu Xing's words were reasonable and well-founded. Lu Rui and Hu Yanyu, however, became furious and said, "There is no need for further reasoning in today's discussion. We simply follow His Majesty's orders and lead the troops. What nonsense are you speaking, Commander?" Following the old traditions of the Xiongnu, where power transitions were often seized by force, they wasted no time and immediately killed Lu Xing, the chief minister assisting in governance. Thus, a hasty and reckless civil conflict erupted. This unplanned, irresponsible, and foolish action was swiftly crushed by the 4th prince, Grand Marshal Lu Kang. Amid the chaos, Lu He, who had been emperor for only 6 days, was killed along with the generals who had incited the rebellion. 2 other princes were also slain in the turmoil. After Lu He's death, the court officials requested Lu Tsong to ascend the throne, making him the 3rd ruler of Hanzhou. From a young age, Lu Tsong was intelligent and eager to learn, excelling in both scholarly studies and martial arts. As a youth, he followed his father into battle, displaying exceptional bravery and agility, earning a reputation as an unparalleled warrior of his time. After Lu Yuan founded the Han state, Lu Tsong led troops to expand its territory, proving himself to be an outstanding commander. However, Lu Tsong lacked his father's grand vision, the ability to lead the Xiongnu people out of their primitive and backward tribal alliances and integrate them into the advanced Chinese civilization. He also did not possess Lu Yuan's personal charisma and wisdom as a great leader. Simply put, culture is humanity's understanding of human society and nature. Traditional culture arises from this accumulated knowledge, shaping moral and ethical standards, beliefs, and customs. Humanity must live in harmony with nature and, accordingly, establish laws and regulations to govern the behavior of those who act in discord with this harmony. If the Hu people do not assimilate into Han culture, their rule will not last 100 years. This is a famous assertion in Chinese history. Lu Yuan, Lu Tsong, and later minority elites who established regimes in the Central Plains all understood this principle. While expanding their military forces, they also actively established schools, tirelessly promoting Confucian culture among their people. They modeled their governments after Han dynasties, setting up official bureaucracies, enacting legal codes, and stabilizing social order, striving to move away from the primitive and backward tribal alliance system. Chinese culture, with filial piety at its core, has a history of nearly 5,000 years. Confucius, building upon and summarizing the cultural and moral concepts of his ancestors, established Confucianism, centered around loyalty, filial piety, benevolence, and righteousness. From then on, through the efforts of Confucius, his students, and generations of followers of Confucian thought, Confucianism became the mainstream of Chinese cultural traditions. Filial piety from children to parents and loyalty from ministers to rulers became the moral standards of society. If someone goes against these principles, showing disloyalty or disrespect, they would be condemned by public opinion and even face legal punishment. When every individual in society, whether a high-ranking official or an ordinary citizen, adheres to moral norms and acts according to public rules, families will be harmonious, society will be peaceful, and the world will be at peace. The influence of cultural traditions on families and society is so significant, but the cultural traditions of each ethnic group are deeply rooted, making reform difficult and long-lasting, often requiring several generations to show results. During the 16 Kingdoms period of warfare, the regimes of different ethnic groups rose and fell quickly, leaving no time for cultural reforms. As a result, their hopes of establishing lasting power in the Central Plains were unsuccessful. However, the social turmoil led to frequent migrations and mixed settlements of different ethnic groups, increasing interactions, mutual understanding, and tolerance, which ultimately promoted ethnic integration. This paved the way for later minority groups to establish their regimes in the Central Plains.